Welcome back to part 2 of the video. We are now going to look at the possible resolution to this dilemma in relation to the ethical guidelines that have been presented in part 1 of this video. However, firstly, before I continue to the resolution, I will briefly present 2 slides for you to review that suggest that the theoretical underpinnings of utilitarianism in deontological views can assist in making and justifying a resolution to my dilemma. Both of these theories have been thoroughly reviewed in the presented synopsis, so I now ask you to briefly view these slides independently before continuing on with the video. A pause may be necessary on each of the slides. In taking into consideration the ethical guidelines and theories presented, it is evident that I have a duty of care not only to the student, but also to the education, organisation and teacher I facilitate with. For this reason, a possible resolution would be to slowly progress to an informed consent from the parents of the child. Although from a utilitarian point of view, what is in the best interest of the child cannot be solely justified as reason to progress with the assessment, as through the parents' eyes, this is not what they want for their child. A continuing would violate the Code of Ethics 2007. An alternative may be to educate the parents about learning disabilities, and also conducting an informal, unreported assessment of the child in front of their parents would express the child's need for learning assistance and hope to change the diligence for consent. This may seem unlikely that the parents will consent to a special education program given their stated opposition to labelling. The compliance, however, with this small request may enhance the potential of future compliance with the assessment to be sooner rather than later. Now I have justified a resolution to the scenario. It is my role as a psychologist to constantly question the choices I have made, in accordance to see whether these choices have met the professional standard requirements. And in reviewing this case study, I believe the minimal professional standards have been upheld, and this is evident through the 4 main requirements, with the first one being protection of the client. This is justified through the psychologist expressing the urgency for an assessment, and the psychologist acting immediately to their colleagues' concerns. This shows respect for the teacher's opinion and also to the student, as ensuring an optimum learning experience is a main objective for a psychologist in the school environment. Professional. It is an ethical guideline to treat all others with respect and understand that all others are entitled to their own moral rights. In the resolution, it is noted that the psychologist expressed her understanding for the parent's hesitation, and instead of harassing the parent to sign a consent form for an assessment, I decided to work with the parents in achieving the desired outcome. Thirdly, we have the organisation. Principle 4 of the Teacher's Code highlights that it is part of an education daily activities to assist in increasing the learning of their students. As a part of this organisation, neglecting the teacher's request for a learning assessment of this child would have violated this standard. I believe for this reason that the organisation professional standards have been resolved beyond its minimal standards, with the psychologist going beyond the educational guidelines and sourcing out other avenues to give the child the best possible education. Finally, we come to profession. It is clearly stated in the Code of Ethics that in assessments, an informed consent from the guardian must be approved before beginning an assessment. This has been upheld within the scenario, as the psychologist did not continue with an IQ test. Professional competence discusses that a psychologist must practice within the professional guidelines and to the Code of Ethics. This includes highlighting the correct procedure for assessment, and during this case it is noted that after contact was made by the teacher, the psychologist referred to the APS Code of Ethics for the correct procedure in following the teacher's claims for an assessment. In summary, the present case study has accurately reflected a real scenario that I may encounter as a school psychologist, and the ethical guidelines have been addressed and used as a tool in solving my dilemma. Thank you for viewing this presentation, and please refer to the references below for a full copy of both codes. Thank you.